Let's now add and format data labels to this particular chart. We will see how to do it in different ways, especially when we have various series in this particular chart and there are possibilities of data labels of different series overlapping each other. We are going to learn three things here. One, how to use a dummy series to place data labels of another series. Second, how to use values in other columns which are not part of data range to be used as data labels of series in the data range. And third, we will learn how to format and position data labels such that they do not overlap other data labels. We will begin with displaying the data labels for rainfall, and for that we are going to utilize this transparent column which is being unused now, and we will place the data labels for rainfall at the bottom of this column. To do that, we'll click on this range, so it selects this particular data range. We'll go to add chart element, go to data labels and select inside base. Now what you see here are the labels which are corresponding to low temperature column, and we shall change those labels to the rainfall labels. To do that, we will click on add chart elements. This series is already selected. Go to data labels and click on more data label options. Here we will select the first option, which is value from cells. It will open up this dialog box where you have to select the range. We will select rainfall range and click OK. Next, we will disable the values which are the values related to low temperature column. So we are going to disable this and even disable leader lines, and we'll close this dialog box. Now the data labels of rainfall are placed at the bottom of these empty columns. Now let's change the color of the font to white and make them bold. To do that, while they are selected, in case they are not selected, just click on the one of the data label and the entire series will get selected. Go to add chart element, data label and click on more data label option. Here you will select the text option on top and not the label option. So we'll click on text option. In text fill, we'll select solid fill and select white color. And let's close this. So the font color has been changed to white. Now we will go to home tab and click bold. So now the font is white and bold. Let's bring the chart in and see if everything is okay. So that looks perfect. Let's move on to the next series. Now let's add data labels to the temperature zone. We'll click on this series that is represented by this column. However, we will use values in this column to be displayed as data labels, which will represent high and low temperatures. So we have selected this series. We'll go to design tab, click on add chart element, data labels, and we will select inside center. Next, we will click on data labels once again and select more data option. And this time, as we did last time, value from cells and select this range and click OK. The color of the font is light gray. We'll change that by going to text option and selecting solid fill, and we will select dark blue as the color. There are two values appearing here, one corresponding to this column which we selected as values from cells and other corresponding to the original column. We will disable those original values by unchecking the value, and we will also uncheck the leader lines because we do not need them here. Let's close it and bring the chart to the center. Now let's increase the width of these columns so that the numbers within it appear properly. To do that, we will click on any one of the series, right click and click on format data series. Here you will find option of gap width and series overlap. Gap width represents the gap between the columns, and that's what we will reduce so that the size of the bar increases. I think that should suffice. If you want, you can further decrease the gap and make it around 100%. Let's click on the data labels and make them bold. So now we have completed displaying data labels for rainfall and the temperature zone. Let's now have the data labels for the humidity. Let's move the chart so that the data range to be displayed as labels for humidity becomes visible, which is this. We'll click on the humidity series, go to design tab, add chart element, data labels, and we will select center. We'll once again click on data labels and select more data label options. Here we'll select value from cells and select the actual values of humidity. Click on OK, then uncheck values and uncheck show leader lines. While the data labels are selected, we will go to the text option and select solid fill and the dark blue color. We would also go to home tab and make them bold. Let's close this dialog box and bring the chart in the center to see how it appears. This seems to be pretty okay. In case you want to increase the height of this column, you can do that by changing the dummy values of this particular column to 1.5 or 2. Let's now move on to the next series, which is the wind speed. This is pretty straightforward because we are using the same values as it appears in that particular column. We'll click on the series, go to design tab, add chart element, data labels, and let's have it for the timing above the data points. Let's click on these data labels and format them in a different way. We'll select the font color as red color, same as the wind speed line color, and we will add a glow to it so that it looks a bit different. So we are going to select the golden glow. Now the wind speed data labels are quite different than the other data labels. That's all for this session, where we learned adding data labels in different ways and formatting them. In the next session, we'll learn how to change the positions of data labels so that they don't overlap with each other. And we will also see how to change formats of the legend, the axis values, and the axis names.